how are you? How are we all doing? We're currently in a big doorway, I suppose, of cycles that are ending. So you may be feeling that at the moment. I particularly have been. I recently entered a competition to win a scholarship, marketing scholarship for $15,000. So that's a lot of money. And I really put myself out there and I really tried my damnedest, and to the point where one person actually said, "You've got to be out there, Dee, you've got to have this." And then the win was actually drawn from a hat, not by effort, which threw me quite dramatically for a 6. And at first I thought, why am I so upset? Because I'm normally happy for the winner and that kind of thing. And I was, but it was just really getting to me. I thought, why is it getting to me so much? So I sat and meditated on it, of course. And during that meditation, a recent conversation came up that I had with Katie. And if you haven't, please watch the video interview that I did this week with Katie. I had a dream where we were talking about the end of cycles, the 9-9-19. We just had the 9th day, the 9th month in 19 years, 3 9s in there, and 0 to 9, 9 being the end of the cycle. So Katie and I were talking about that. And I mentioned the dream tour that I just had that night, where I was going to a concert of some sort in the city, and I was offered a free room to stay in, so I wouldn't have to drive and that sort of thing, by a now deceased member of my family who was cruel to me. So that was a bit weird. And he walked me up the stairs, led me to my room, and then left. And then I go into the room and there's men's clothing spread out on a bed. And I thought, this is freaky. Okay, who's in here? And it ended up being someone I dated briefly who was narcissistic clothing, and he was there, and he also had been offered the room for free. But we decided to be all right with about what was happening and just go and have dinner and talk about it. So we went downstairs, and as we're going downstairs, a friend currently in my life was coming upstairs, and he's not cruel or narcissistic or any of that. He's actually overgiving, really. He's coming upstairs and it's his room too. So we all ended up just having dinner, and that's pretty much where my dream ended. And I thought, what's this all about? And talking to Katie about it, she said, well, because I was thinking, well, there's end of cycles happening here. And she said, well, a room's private. I thought, oh, yes. And she also said that there's a lot of free in there. And I thought, okay. So there has definitely been times in my past where I've given too freely of myself. And this was showing me to end that cycle. And I wondered about the current good friend, but he also gives too freely of himself. It was a reinforcement, exclamation mark, if you like, on the message. And then going back to this competition, I was giving and giving and giving for something that was free. Interesting, huh? So that's not to say I'm not going to give freely. I will. It's just going to be the reason for it is going to be a good one, and not just because I want to be noticed or I want to be admired or I want to be liked or any of that kind of stuff. It's going to come from a good place. And I'm also going to start valuing myself more. I'm hoping you guys relate to this. I'm sharing a bit here. But this is week 37 of my 1 hour a day, every day for a year meditations. And this is where I'm coming from, is this meditation stuff is really useful. I sat there and meditated on that and got an answer to what was bugging me. So you really need to meditate for some time. You're not going to get an answer in 5-10 minutes, I wouldn't think. Maybe some people do. If you're meditating regularly or a few times a day, you might. But what I'm doing this hour a day, every day for a year, has been profound in how I respond to things, how I react to things. Clears my head, gives me more room to think. It's just been life-changing, to be honest. So much healing's come from it. And it's not just the meditation itself, but the meditation has given me space to heal. So 37 weeks, I've still got things to talk about each week. I'll see you next week. Bye.